Welcome, Float Magic fans. We're tuning into the podcast today with a special guest, Hope.
Hi.
Hope is one of our salt ninjas. She's been with us for a while now. Over
2 years.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It goes by fast.
It does.
And so, and Hope is in a great position. We're looking at training her to do other things in our center. And so thought it would be great for you guys to hear from her and just tune into her experience. So we're so glad that you're here, Hope.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Of course. I love it here. Working here, everything about it's amazing. It was my second ever job, but like my first ever like official job, and It's been amazing the whole time.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you stepped into it so beautifully. It was like very little training at all. You just knew how to take care of our clients and kind of really picked up on everything they need. So it was an easy transition to bring you on board.
It was great.
So with that, a lot of times our audience likes to hear, what is it that you enjoy about the center?
Well, I mean, the work environment, for starters, is amazing. And as far as the services go, the contrast therapy is probably my favorite. I do a lot of weightlifting, weight training, and the amount of progress that I've made over the last year since I started like really utilizing the services has been insane. Like, I've hit so many new PRs, and like my body feels good. Like you talk to bodybuilders and weightlifters, and they're so like everything's hurt all the time, and I've never had an injury, and like it's amazing, the recovery and how fast you get over it.
Yeah, that's a fantastic feedback on that, because our bodies, when we're stressing them, it's the recovery aspect of that that can really amplify our gains.
Yeah.
And so being able to put yourself in a position to recover faster and better absolutely can give you a long-term effect that you might not see in your peers and counterparts. So that's very cool that you're witnessing that in your own.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And also the Novathor, like the recovery from that. Even I got in like that accident where I scraped up my whole knee.
Right.
It was like really deep. It was like to my kneecap, how deep the wound was, and it completely sealed over in a week.
Yeah.
Because I used the Novathor every day. As soon as it happened, I was like, somebody drive me into float. I gotta use it.
I know what this is going to be the benefit on the other side. Yeah, that tissue repair is pretty remarkable.
And I have like really little scarring from it too, which was
very good.
Insane, because the doctor that I went to, he's like, your whole body's going to be scarred. And I have like one little one on my knee, and that's it.
And you're like, well, look at this, doc.
And I was like,
thank you. That's incredible. I'm so glad you shared that story. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You grew up around this area, right?
I was born and raised here. I've never even moved houses. I've been here my whole life. My family grew up around here. My dad was born in Idaho Falls.
Okay.
And he moved here, and yeah, it's such a beautiful place to live, and the canyons and the mountains, and there's so much contrast. Like it's so amazing and beautiful here, and my whole family generations have stayed in Idaho.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a pretty magical area that we get access to. I grew up over by your dad too, over in eastern Idaho, and always was pretty fond of that part of the state, of course. But moving to the Magic Valley, yeah, there's so much to take advantage of here. And you like to be outdoors a lot. That's part of you, huh?
Love backpacking and hunting, fishing. I grew up in a very outdoorsy family, and so since I was little, I've been swimming in like high mountain lakes and everything, and I love Idaho so much.
How idyllic. So you like to hunt. What do you like to hunt?
I've mostly just hunted deer. I went on some hunts with my little brothers this year, got them some elk. Such an amazing experience. A lot of people take it as like a savage type of thing, but it really is like a spiritual thing. It's very like grounding, and like the whole process of it, it's like you put so much work into that, and it's clean meat, and you have meat for the whole winter for your family, and it's a very deep, and I've seen like my dad and my brothers who are adults like cry after it. Like it's so much work that like the relief is, it's insane, and it really is like it's like a touching experience. I cried every time I've killed something. I've cried. Like it's hard, but it's so beneficial. And the meat is so clean, and like it's amazing.
That's really neat, and I love that you say that. There's a lot of spirituality and sacredness that goes into, I mean, even if you look back through ceremonies, hunting ceremonies and rituals that they do before the hunt, because that was their survival. We're tribal people, so understanding how important the hunt is, and it's really neat that that's still the experience that you get.
And my family does like archery hunting too, which makes it even more like
the pursuit and the chase.
You gotta get close to those animals. And it's hard.
You gotta smell amazing. Like those animals. You gotta look like them. You gotta hide in the all the camouflage, and your face and your scent has to be totally muted. So
it's a really beautiful experience.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I was really grateful that I was raised in that environment to learn.
Wonderful. Other than hunting, are there other things that you really light your soul on fire that you get to do?
Skiing, probably. I've been skiing this will be my 12th year.
Wow.
I started snowboarding last year. Summer's more of my season with like the hiking and everything, but I love it so much. Like the adrenaline rush it's amazing.
Yeah, skiing's pretty great. Do you get cold? Do you feel like you weather the cold okay?
I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah.
My mom always said that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear.
Yes.
So we all have pretty sufficient gear. You learn pretty quick that it's gonna be cold. So, but yeah, no, I always get cold. I always go sit in the lodge for at least a couple runs. I'm like, I just need a minute to de-thaw, and then we get to go again. But
so and we'll see how, because you've been cold plunging quite often. We'll have to see how that affects your cold this season.
Definitely.
So, and all of that prep work. So yeah, definitely.
Very excited.
Me too, because I do get cold. Like the phase I'm at in my life, I felt like I never got cold when I was younger, and I could brave everything, and hear people complain about the cold, and now I'm like, oh yeah, now I get it.
It's cold.
I see why you're cold. It totally changes as you age, and so we'll see what cold plunge has done for me.
Like really poor circulation, so I used to have like really cold hands and feet a lot, and I think the plunge has helped me with that a lot, because I mean, I'm not gonna say my hands don't still get cold, but like on a day-to-day, like I used to always be cold, and now I'm not. Like my body regulates heat so much better, and I think it is the plunge. I try to do it like a couple times a week, and it's hard, but it's worth it.
Right.
It's amazing.
You've been amazingly consistent, and that's, And once you get into that pattern, it's impressive to watch those of my employees who have totally embraced the cold plunge. But once you stop and have to get back into it, it's almost like starting over. Not quite, like your body acclimates a lot quicker, but boy, it's hard to get back into it.
It is,
Oh, awesome. So, I mean, there's lots of things that float magic has opened your mind to. Are there things that you hope to do in your future that you've been inspired through this process?
Well, with the weightlifting and everything and the recovery, I really want to be a personal trainer.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to move to Coeur d'Alene and get some certificates in that, and hopefully nutrition and everything. And I think a huge part of it for me is the recovery, because I mean, I know a lot of people who lift and everything, and they're like, take a day off and that's all I do for recovery. And I'm like, no, like there's so much more to it. So I think just educating people about that, and like the things that I've learned here about, what real rest looks like. Not just not working out for a day, but like genuinely letting your body heal, giving it what it needs, electrolytes and the supplements that you can take, like everything. That's what's important to me. Like, I mean, the lifting's fun, but like the recovery is so important. And so I've really been inspired here to like make that a career and like share that. And I mean, I'm 18, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be my forever thing, but right now it's what I'm really passionate about.
Well, I think that's beautiful. Yeah. At this point in your life, really have something you want to work towards. And that's going to be with you forever. Like, that is a wonderful beginning career. Even if you stick with that career, if you switch, that knowledge is something that's going to take you gracefully into all phases of your life.
That's what I was talking to my dad about it, and I was like, I'm not losing anything. Even if it's not what I want to do forever, I'm still gaining something from it no matter what. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Good for you. That's so exciting and fantastic. In your personal life, like moving forward in that direction, where do you see yourself with Float Magic? Like, I know you're super young and you the whole world is your oyster. So
I mean, I love it here. Even if I'm not working here, I still will come in and utilize the services and everything. I told Kayla when I told her that I was moving, I was like, I'm coming back. So I'm not quitting. I will be back. Just like, don't put me on the schedule for like these 6 months, but I'll be back because I love it here. It's amazing. And it's like coming to work with your best friends. It's not like you wake up and you're like, ugh. Like, I have to go to work now. It's like, I get to go and like experience this and help other people heal. And like watching people, like they come in the first time, and by even the first time, sometimes they walk out the door a different person. And that's so beautiful to watch. Like, it's amazing. That just fills me with joy to hear. Every time you guys share a story about that, it truly reminds me of how impactful what we have here can be for people. So it's really a beautiful space.
Yeah, thank you. So your family all grew up here in Idaho, and there's lots of history of being in Idaho. Where does that pride really settle in for you? Like, what aspects of this? I know you touched a little bit on that earlier, but
just, I guess, like really knowing this area, because there's people, you know, who are moving in, and I know a lot of people who moved here from like California and things, and I'll get to talk to them, and they're like, it's so boring here, like there's nothing to do. And it's like, there's not. Like, you'll never be bored if you just go outside. I mean, there's like the canyon, and there's, I mean, 20 minutes away are these beautiful mountains. There's like 3 ski resorts within an hour of a drive. Like, it's beautiful. And just like knowing all like the little nooks and crannies around here, because like I said, I have 8 siblings, and so it was always like we were always just out like doing things. And so anytime someone says that there's boring, I'm like, okay, but like it's not. And I just like, you know, even just like the like lava tunnels and things like that,
out to craters again, all the lava tubes that we have around here, like Tea Kettle Cave, and
like playing around in caves and hiking up mountains. And it's just like there's so many beautiful things around here, and I feel like people, they drive through and they're like, oh, sagebrush, like
right, that's all
like,
they see.
As soon as you get out there, it's so beautiful everywhere.
It unveils a whole other ecosystem that you didn't even know exist. Yeah, we're called the gem state, right? Yeah. You start digging into our soil and you get to see all kinds of gems. But I also think that gem state was so fitting because there's so many gems to take part in this area. And like you said, within a few hours, an hour to 2 hours of driving distance, and you can have a totally different scenery. And in all directions we can go. And there's lots of, I've been on the river with your mother a time or two. I think it's been 3 actually.
I'm yet to go on one of her river trips.
Really? Yeah. Oh my goodness. They're so great.
The timing never works out, but every time she's like, are you coming? I'm like,
I don't know. Yeah, those are magical trips, because talk about remote. When you're traveling down a river, you're in the middle of nowhere that nobody can get to you, and so really has some special time and really close connection with nature and the stars.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah, especially when there's no moon and the light pollution is all gone. My goodness.
Wow.
Nothing better. So I wanted to go back to your car accident just a little bit, because you really utilized the center to help you recover through that.
Yeah.
And that was an acute injury. What all did you have happen through the car accident?
So I think what we talked about previously was I crashed on one wheel, and so I had tissue damage. But I was in a car accident last October. I was at a complete stop and got hit going 65, and it completely spun my car. Like, I had bruises all over my body. I was really fortunate in my injuries. It could have been a lot worse, but I had severe whiplash. I couldn't even move my neck for 2 weeks, and the spot treatment is actually, I think, what I utilized the most. And it was amazing, because for the first probably 3 weeks, I just went to a chiropractor 3 times a week. And I mean, it helped, of course, but it wasn't it was temporary. It was it'd make me feel okay, and then I'd have to go back 2 days later. And then I started using the spot treatments. I probably still use it 3 times a week. And it just the instant relief that I felt, I literally I wanted to cry. I was like, this is amazing, because I was in so much, and even now, I was hunting this whole last week, and I didn't have time to come into the center. I didn't have anything, and I had a pack on, and I was walking, and I was like, my neck hurts so bad. And as soon as I got back, I came in, I used a spot treatment, and it's fine again.
Instant alleviation.
It I couldn't sleep on it. It was horrible. And as soon as the spot treatment, it's life changing. It really is. And I have a knee injury actually from skiing when I was probably 8, and I crashed into a tree, and I still have problems with my knee. And so every now and then it'll start hurting, and I do the spot treatment, and it's good to go. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical at first.
Sure.
When,
I think everybody was when I brought it in.
It's not a magic cure, whatever, but I'm not saying it's a cure, but it is.
It's
like magic.
It is a healing device, because it works at the cellular level. And so
it's incredible. I also used it, I had pretty bad acne a year ago, and I the lower level just on my skin, and I mean, I still break out a little bit. I'm a teenager. It happens, but
I still break out from time to time too.
Yeah,
it just kind of happens.
It's amazing, and even just my acne scarring has faded so much, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing those. Yeah, and we can go back to your one wheel accident too, because that's when you really utilized a lot of the services too for the quick healing. So let's itemize, because you had scrapes on your skin.
I crashed it. I was going uphill, and so I slid up a hill. It was not good. That was in May 2022, and I had my whole thigh was road burn, and then the main thing was my knee, because I fell on it, and it was really deep. My dad has never had an issue with blood, and even he was oh my God, it's bad. And my whole shoulder was ripped up. My entire elbow was basically the same as my knee, my whole body. I think I called you actually, and I was I can't. I think I was supposed to go into work later that day, and I was I can't walk. I couldn't get off the couch for a couple days. My whole body was hurt, and I broke 2 fingers. It was not good. And my dad told me, he has a PhD in animal science, so he's really good about injuries and healing and things like that. And he told me, he's that's not gonna heal for a month. He's you'll probably have that dent in your knee for
a long time
plus. And I came in and I used the Novathor, and I think I used it 5 times before it was sealed, and it wasn't fully healed, but it was sealed up, and I have these little scars on my hands, and then the one scar on my knee, and that's the only part of my body that's scarred. And my entire back, both of my legs, both of my elbows, my whole hands were completely road burned.
I remember seeing you when you came in, and I was that was from a one wheel?
Good lesson. Don't wear headphones when you're riding a one wheel. It's not a good idea.
Be aware of your surroundings. But no, you were pretty scraped up, and really, but it was great to watch your recovery, like even on the outside, like seeing how quickly you recovered.
I think that was the first time that I really realized like
the power of what we got.
Because when I first started here, I didn't really utilize the services very much, and then I got hurt, and I was like, okay, like, you know, I know where to get treatment, so I'll just go use it. And I think that was the first time that I was like, wow, like, and I even, for my car accident, a doctor even like suggested using infrared, and I was like, I'm already on it. Yeah, I got it.
Got it covered.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, because a lot of people, clients your age, unless they're dealing with a really acute injury, it's hard for them to recognize the benefits because they're already young and healthy and already feel a lot of energy. And so it's those who come in with a concussion or who have a knee injury or have some torn ligaments or, you know, have skin scratches and scrapes that they're trying to heal. That's when it's a lot more noticeable for you young, as my grandpa would call whippersnappers. So
yeah, no, it's. And I preach the services here to everyone, you know.
Amazing.
Somebody would be like, what is that? Is it like, and I'm like, okay, let me tell you all about it. And I'll have people come up and like ask me questions, and I like go into so much detail, and they're like, how do you know all this? And I'm like, well, I'm passionate about it. Like it's amazing. And I mean, it's such like a beautiful space. Like I tell everyone, just go once, just try it.
Just one time.
Even
give yourself that.
I'm like, just do it once.
Yeah.
I promise you're going to want to do it again. Like, I've never heard anyone come here and have a bad experience or not enjoy it or anything. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Well, I think it's pretty amazing you're part of our team.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you so much for being willing to come on and share with our audience a little more about you. So, yeah. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And remember, you can find us on all of your podcast platforms that you typically access. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're now on TikTok. And please like us on YouTube or Spotify if that's where you get your podcast. So remember, it is perfectly okay to stay salty.